Breaking news, Jermell Charlo recently did an interview with Brian Custer, where he revealed that as soon as he requested Castaño to take VADA drug testing, Castaño 2 days later pulled out of the fight due to an injury. And aftermath, they instructed Charlo not to speak about it. Unbelievable. I always said that the sport of boxing is the wild, wild west, where anything and everything can happen. That's why these fighters have to realize it's not enough just to be a fighter. You have to handle business outside of the ring as well, like making sure everything is on an even playing field. From the VADA drug testing to the judges checking their resume to make sure they're not racially biased, so on and so forth. And even as far as putting themselves in position in order to be able to force the fights with the ducks that's flying around. Like I said before, it's deeper than boxing. And these fighters have to take it upon themselves to educate themselves to what's really going on behind the scenes in their own profession. If not, they will most likely end up being a victim, because no one cares about the fighter, the individual, but himself. Therefore, if you want to be informed by us new media, then click on Akhi TV notification bell. Now, without wasting any time, here is exactly what Jermell Charlo had to say on Brian Custer's Last Stand podcast.
That's the game they play. When you're a tough guy and you don't care what nobody thinks or says, automatically they're gonna put you in there. Hey, Charlo won't even care because he's a warrior. Yeah, I'm a warrior. Of course, I'm a warrior. But now I think outside the box. I asked for legal drug testing. I asked them to drug test on Tuesday, and then all of a sudden on a Thursday, he pulls out the fight. I was told to be quiet. Sorry, I can't be quiet. Can't be quiet when you holding all of these belts in the back, and you know your life is on the line, and your family cares, and everybody that is around you care. So then I started thinking like, hold on. I must speak up. I said, you know what? It's going to be all right. I got an interview with Brian Custer coming soon. And I'm going to let it all out. I'm going to let him know how I feel. I'm not here to down or diss nobody. I'm just here to speak facts. And from the beginning, I already knew it was a problem. The last fight that I had with him back July 17, 2021, we only drug tested one time. And that was before I asked, I asked one of Al Heyman's advisors or people that represent Al Heyman. I say, hey, why aren't we being drug tested this whole camp? The whole camp, nobody came. You know what they told me? They said, hey, Charlo, you were supposed to request for that a month ago. Never have I requested for a drug test. Months and months go by. Rosario fight, Lubin fight, my whole career being number one in the WBC. WBC, I'm mad at y'all. Because y'all said y'all a clean sport. And if anybody fight for y'all titles, y'all gonna make sure they protect it. I want a fair shake in the boxing world. And we barely drug tested for the last fight. Now all of a sudden, he's hurt. He admits that he faked the injury. He never had surgery. And of course, Brian Castaño's injury isn't surgery, a component for surgery. It doesn't need surgery, okay? So now it's about healing process. But he's still working out and running. He's swinging that arm, that right arm that supposedly he didn't use to train. He's swinging it, And I hate to, be the guy to pull up things because I gotta state artifacts. But if your bicep, and it's the right bicep that's injured, it's the right arm completely because I realized the one that he didn't have a glove on. So he working out. He doing all of this training. This is from his coach. So y'all need to follow him, Brian Castaño, because that's the one that exposes you, your own people. They want me to be quiet and not say nothing about all of these things. But behind the scenes, before I knew it was a month approaching, so I contacted a bunch of people and I said, hey, can y'all please make sure y'all doing the proper drug testing? Now, I've spoken with Al Heyman yesterday. Personally, he said, hey, drug testing will be heavy and it will be in depth. So I trust Al. Al is my guy. He's never failed me. I just want a fair shake now. A lot of people don't know what I went through, even with dealing with Brian Castaño. And I dealt with a lot with him. You know, like I said, he got the same manager as is the same guy that tried to take Madonna gloves and make Marcos Madonna and his coach. I mean, the gloves aren't right for Mayweather. They don't weigh the same. They do anything to try to get into their opponent's head. This ain't gonna work for me.
The key question is, A, do you believe that he really injured his right bicep, or is it B, do you have a feeling that maybe it's because you have a suspicion of PED use?
Well, I have several. If he did, he's gonna. You could take steroids for 6 months, 6 weeks, and let that go through your system. Rehydrate, wash it out, get it clear before they start testing you. I asked to be tested more than once in this situation with Brian Castaño. I've spoken out about us being tested. I'm a clean fighter, and I represent only clean fighters. So if you treated me, it's going whatever's done in the dark gonna hit the light. So that's one thing. I believe personally he didn't sustain the injury that he did.
For the full interview, I'm gonna leave the link in the description box below. Now, make sure you guys watch this full interview because my man Brian Custer did a great job, just like always. More importantly, one thing we do know, where there is smoke, there is definitely fire. And the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Where in this incident, the tree is the steroids and the apple is Castaño. Or the fire is the steroids and the smoke is Castaño. So you telling me, as soon as Jermell Charlo requested VADA drug testing, all of a sudden, a day later, Castaño sustained an injury. What a coincidence. Man, these fighters better wake up because the WBC Clean Program stands for We Be Cheating Program. It's supposed to be called the WBC Cheating Program because the World Boxing Corruption Organization increased the computer roll limit so Canelo Alvarez could eat contaminated meat all he wants, then be cleared to fight legally. The WBC also defended fighters that straight up took PEDs and cleared them to fight, such as Oscar Valdez. The WBC said Phentermine is not a PED, even though VADA said it is a PED. However, the WBC president, Suleiman, completely dismissed the facts and that an athlete actually died from using Phentermine, which further proves that the WBC Clean Program is all for show. It's actually a cheating program in order to help the fighters on the hope list cheat. I mean, how is the WBC president going to tell VADA what's PEDs and what's not? To make matters worse, if something is already banned, how are you gonna try to unban it? Therefore, if I'm Jermell Charlo, I will take it upon myself to talk to VADA directly. Furthermore, I can go ahead and tell you that Castaño allegedly has already cycled off PEDs. It's just that he's trying to take it a step further by possibly taking PEDs a couple weeks before the actual fight so he can get the full gains of PEDs. Now, if you don't have a clear understanding of what's really going on, then watch my interview with Victor Conti, where I asked him all about this and he broke every single thing down. So if you want to educate yourself, I'm gonna leave the links for those interviews in the comment section below. Last but not least, nowadays, if you can't beat them, don't fight them. But if you're forced to fight them, then cheat them. This is the landscape of boxing today when it comes to the fighters on the coincidental list. Nevertheless, the fight will be going down May 14th. Therefore, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi, TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.